around here, and it's an amazing story that he has. He also has a special that he's going to be filming here for the Open Bar Comedy Show. Believe it or not, he's going to have his own special, which is so cool, because he's only been doing comedy since for about 3 years. And it's amazing. Let's bring this man on. He'll close out the show for you. I think you're going to love this guy a lot. Let's have a nice round of applause for Cliff Hornsby.
Hello. I normally come out here and say that I'm happy to be here, but at my age, I'm happy to be anywhere. I do have one request to the audience before we start. Please do not make a silver alert call about me. I left a note at my nursing home that I'd be home late. You're wondering why an 85-year-old man is up here trying to make you laugh? I wanted to improve my social calendar to see somebody besides a doctor. They only laugh at me when I take off my clothes. I am a graduate of McCurdy's, and I'd like to not brag, but tell you that I am now a professional comedian. Thank you. I was recently paid $25 to perform. If I can get 39 more gigs, I can pay off my student loan. Scott, am I getting paid tonight? I need 39 more gigs, not 38. If you're a professional, you need a professional name when you're on stage. And I have gotten that. I thought about naming myself after some famous comedians like Jerry Lewis or Jerry Seinfeld. And I'm going to reveal that to you tonight like they did my great-grandbaby when she was born. They tried to give me arthritis, but I turned that one down. Now I forgot where I am. But let me explain this to you. Sometimes I walk out here and don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I just plainly forget, just like you do when you walk in the kitchen and say, why am I in here? Now, I solved that problem for me. I created Cliff Notes wristbands so that if I get lost, I can look down here and see what I'm supposed to do. They tell me the majority of this audience is from north of the Mason-Dixon line. No? Well, I haven't been surrounded by this many Yankees since Sherman burned Atlanta in 1864. I was married. My wife was 9 years older than me. When I first met her, I told her I was a stud muffin. She said I was a Pillsbury Doughboy, and I still am. Unfortunately, she passed away last year, but she had been sick a long time. But there's a lot of work to do when you have to deal with somebody's death. She had credit cards, and I had to call the bank to cancel it. The bank answered and said, can I help you? I said, yeah, my wife passed away. I need to cancel her credit cards. The young lady said, fine, I can help you. What's your name? What's your wife's name? I gave them to her. She came back in a few minutes and said, Mr. Hornsby, I can't talk to you. I have to talk to your wife. You're not on her card. Here's where I think people don't listen. I said, I told you she was deceased. She said, I don't care, I have to talk to her. I said, okay, here's a phone number. She's at Arlington Memorial Park in Atlanta. If you do get a message from her, ask her what the password is for my computer. When I was a young boy, we used to gather at my grandmother's house every Sunday for having dinner, but everybody had to do work. I was just a little tyke, and they made me crank the ice cream machines that didn't have electric motors on them. Then they made me churn butter. And if you've never churned butter, it's like an upside down bushel basket with a stick in it. So they had, and it takes a long time. So there I am doing this all the time. And I can tell you this much. It helped me when I was 13 when I had a Sears Roebuck catalog. I just renewed my driver's license. My goal in life is to outlive it. If you're a senior and you go get your license, they only renew them for 6 years. But when you leave the place and they give you your card, they take bets on whether you'll be back for another one. I'd like to thank my doctors for keeping me upright. I don't always do what they say do, but they said, Cliff, go do acupuncture for your back pain. And I did, and it helped. And I called the acupuncturist back, said, I'd like to come back for another session. He said, Cliff, you're not authorized to be in here. I said, why? He said, your blood's so old, you rusted all our needles. Oh, okay. When I was young, the doctor came to your house with a little black bag. I didn't go to a doctor's office till I was 6. My mom took me, we were in the little doctor's room, he's on his little wheelie, and he talks to me, and then he says, take off all your clothes and face your mom. I did, and he said, now bend over and spread your cheeks. That's when I learned there's 4 cheeks on a body. When you're as old as I am, you get a new primary care physician every now and then, and they make you fill out all those questionnaires. And I got to the part that said who to call in an emergency, and I said ambulance. I went for a mole patrol the other day to see my dermatologist. She said, Cliff, I got some bad news. I found 3 dastardly looking things on your inside thigh. I'm gonna have to do a biopsy. I said, that's fine. She came back, she said, I'm really confused. These type growths grow in sunlight on your body, not darkness. Where have you had your body? I said, at the Villages. And this is my trophy. I don't know what they all mean, but one of them you shouldn't report, that's for sure. I gotta look here because it confused me as to where I was. I'm getting hormones at the doctor's office now. They tell me they're not female hormones and that's not for transition purposes. They said, but Cliff, you will have hot flashes and your breast's gonna grow. I like to be prepared, so I went to a bra shop to try to buy a training bra that was 48 double D, but they didn't have them. Sex education in the 50s is completely different than it is today. Back in the 50s, they put 8th grade boys in one room, 8th grade girls in another room. They would even put paper over the window so nobody could see what dastardly pictures we were looking at. In the boys' room, the teacher would come out and said, if you play with yourself, hair grows in your palm. There's 25 boys trying to look without being seen. Just like those 2 men back there looking at their palm. And that one lady over here looking at her fingers, but I don't know why she's looking. I was calorically challenged most of my life. I tried every diet, whatever. I even joined a club to lose weight. That cost me $1,500 and I lost 2 pounds. I finally lost all my weight about 5 years ago. I do not recommend it, but I had a stroke, but it worked really well. Oh, I joined the Navy when I was 16. Back in those days, lady sailors were called waves. I went in the recruiting office in Atlanta and a big sign on the wall said, join the Navy and ride the waves. I said, sign me up. Then the Navy, in all their wisdom, did away with waves. They made them real war sailors and put them on ships. And the Navy found out they had a problem in a new sailor. They had a pregnant sailor. So they created a commission to find out why. So I sent them a telegram and said, seaman. I hate deceptive signs. There's one out in Nokomis that said women's consignment. I took my sister-in-law down there and dropped her off, and they rejected her. But the granddaddy of all deceptive signs is at University and I-75. It says, BJ's Wholesale. I bought a membership quickly. And then, because I've been paying retail all that time. I'm going to tell you a story about me riding public transportation because I bought a brand new car and had a wreck. I was at the bus stop over there the other day, and a young, pretty lady, little petite lady, showed up next to me in the tightest leather skirt you've ever seen. When they came, I, being Southern, said, "Why don't you go first?" She did, but then she couldn't step up on the steps because it was tight, her skirt. She reached around and unzipped. She tried it a second time. She couldn't get up there. She reached around and unzipped. She tried it the third time. And I thought, we're going to be here all day unless I help this little lady. So I picked her up by her waist and set her on a step. And she said, "You pervert! You don't have the right to touch my body." I said, "Yes, ma'am, generally I agree with that, but you unzipped my pants 3 times. I'm Cliff Hornsby. Thank you.
Show them your shirt because they didn't get a chance.